Let's turn our live to Berlin. Joining us now from there, the German MP and Left Party foreign policy spokesman Jan van Aken. Very pleased to have you on, Ronahi, Mr. van Aken. On the 10th of January, you as the first Western diplomat visited Rojava. What prompted you to visit the Kurdish region, and share us your experiences? Where have you been and who did you meet?
Yes, last the coach of the PRA visited in Berlin, and so here in Budapest, then we decided to come this year and have a direct Rojava. It was, for me, extremely interesting. We visited a couple of different political parties who had met with representatives of the TEFDEM system, and we went to Derek, to Kamishlu. We talked to the Kurdish croissant, the Red Cross of Kurdistan, to see how is the situation on the medical front, but also food-wise, and what is the effect of the embargo on the region.
As we mentioned, you are the first Western diplomat who visited Rojava. What were the reactions of the people you met, Mr. van Aken?
For me, it was heartbreaking to see what an effect it had. I mean, my experience was, and my impression was that the people in Rojava really were happy that finally some diplomat from the West would come, have a direct look, and then report back in the country. I think that's the most important thing, that because I was there, because I could look firsthand at the self-regulation there, at the self-government system, at the basic democratic system, that I can report that back here in Germany with the German media, but also in the German parliament. And so my impression was that it was really welcomed in Rojava.
Since the start of the Syrian Rojava revolution, the people of Rojava have made significant gains, from which the autonomous administration and the formation of people defense units. What is your evaluation of these steps taken by the people of Rojava, Mr. van Aken?
For me, it was new, and I was really deeply impressed that in the midst of this war, I mean, it's a really horrible civil war region in Syria, that in the midst of this war in the northern region of Rojava, the people are now preparing for elections. And my understanding is that in May, June, July, they want to undertake elections in the three cantons. That is indeed something nobody would have expected in the West, that a significant big region of Syria is now going the democratic way, while most of the rest of the country is falling apart.
The recognition of this democratic autonomous administration is of high importance for the people of Rojava. What will be the value of Western countries' recognition of this administration, and how difficult will it be, in your opinion?
That's difficult to say. We now here in Germany have a new government. We also had elections last September, and I can't judge right now already what will be the direction of the new German government, the new German foreign minister, but we will do everything we can that they are open-minded towards the development in Rojava. You know, the problem is here in Germany, when you hear the word Kurds, most politicians would say that's PKK. PKK is a terrorist group here in Germany by law, so most politicians won't even touch any Kurdish issue. So that's the thing we have to overcome. We have to demonstrate, we have to show that this is a truly democratic process, that the people of Rojava who are now governing themselves, and that they need everything from recognition but also to aid and opening the borders. And my impression was that during the discussion in the parliament we had last week, that even some of the conservative parties are willing to consider the Kurds to be a very important player in the region.
The democratic process in Rojava is facing a lot of challenges, policy of isolation and blockade, barbaric attacks from both the Syrian regime and the armed groups. Can we conclude from this that the regional powers and the international powers don't want the emergence of a democratic system in the region?
I mean, let's face it, this is a democratic, it's a secular self-governing system, and it's multi-ethnic. So for me, it's a role model for the region, but let's face it, for most of those who are in power in the region, from Turkey to Iraq, to the autonomous Iraq Kurdistan region, to Syria, it's a threat. I mean, they are all more feudalistic, they are hierarchical, they are whatever, you know, it's dictatorship in Damascus, and such a secular and democratic system is a threat for them. That's one of the reasons why they try to embargo it and try to keep it down. But for me, from a Western perspective, that's the role model.
Mm-hmm. On the basis of your observations in Rojava, how could you describe the condition of the minorities in Rojava, like Arabs, Christians, Armenians, and Chechens, Mr. van Aken?
I can't judge their life on a daily basis. You know, how do they live in the villages? We had talks also to the Syrian party and to their spokesperson, and I mean, he was pretty clear that they cooperate because they are secular. That they and their religion is not under any threat if they cooperate with the Kurds. So for them, it's obviously the best solution they can think of. But you know, the life of the people on a daily basis in the villages, I can't judge because we were only there for a very short time.
Mm-hmm. The Syrian conflict has become the world's greatest proxy war. A number of regional and international powers are driving the Syrian Rojava conflict.